I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discover that I had not lived. That's Henry David Thoreau's take. For me, going to the woods is a little different. For me, going to the woods is just that. A few days a year, maybe a week, if I'm lucky, 2 weeks, I strap an overweight pack to my back and walk. I walk all day. In the evenings, as the light washes out and becomes thick, almost heavy, I crawl into a narrow down bag and sleep. Mornings, especially now that there is more end than beginning to my life, I wake, stiff and sore, questioning the choices I've made that got me out into the woods, bent over a small and hissing butane stove, waiting impatiently for water to boil. I guess I come out here for the moment, for the experience. But experience is a funny thing. It's not something you can hold or put in your pocket or drop on the counter at your local convenience store for lottery tickets. Experience is often half remembered or forgotten altogether. I want to believe once you've had an experience that it somehow manages to snuggle its way into your being, becoming part of you, changing you, altering, if only slightly, the meandering course of your life. I do believe we are the sum total of our experience. They are just not always remembered. Like most things in this life, the details, the sharp edges that define form, will over time blend, smudge, and blur into a barely recognizable memory or half-thought, a kind of subtle sensation of familiarity. There's a part of me that's incredibly sad by the realization I'll forget a lot about this trip, especially the details. The steady hum of the river, or the way the flowers blew in the wind, and how the bees and butterflies still managed to find a way to grab hold and land on those swaying stalks. I'll lose forever the thread of some of the most important conversations of my life. And yet I wouldn't change a thing about these trips. They're vital. They make life worth living, especially for those of us who spend most of their time at work, when free time is defined by a narrow set of hours between after punching out and before punching in. Sculpting a life from those few hours is possible. Millions do it, but it isn't the easiest. For me, these trips, time spent in a narrow, down-filled bag, lying on the ground and waiting for water to boil, help construct a life worth living. And the friendship found around that hissing stove, the smiles and the conversation, the laughter. Well, that's just icing on the cake, isn't it?